Sensational Live Hip Hop Daily.tv, and this episode is sponsored by Tree 18. You want to get your brand in front of the right audience, then you need to tap in with Tree 18. Tree 18 can help create unique advertising that helps you stand out. Follow Tree 18 now and see how they can help you reach a new level. And that's crazy because we're actually going to discuss that a little bit later today. But what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mecca, Cash Color Cannabis, and today I'm actually having a solo episode. So this is actually a format I've been wanting to play with for a little while now, actually for the last couple of years, where I just kind of do a show where it's just me. You know, me and my boy Herb. I remember back when we first started early in the season, early in the start of the podcast. It would literally be me and Herb doing an intro before we even introduced the guest, man. But so, you know, for those who don't know, I have a producer. His name is Herb Imperial. He's been running this show and behind the scenes for a little while. Some of y'all probably ain't heard him in about 2 seasons now. But Herb, what's good with you, man? He had to go find the mic. See, that's how surprised I made him, nigga. Herb's so used now to just being able to be on autopilot. About to put you to work too, man. I'm Yo Gotti out here. Everybody got work. Everybody got work, man. But yeah, so we've been working on this new format, and I feel like it's something we're gonna start rolling out as we move forward, especially through the last quarter of the year, where we're gonna possibly cut back on some of the episodes during the week. We're going to introduce some new formats, introduce some new things that we're doing for Cash Color Cannabis. And primarily it's because of some things that's happening in my life that I can't fully speak on just yet. But there's going to be some stuff I'm hopefully be able to speak about next week where all of this will make a little bit of sense as to why we have to kind of slim down the show just a tad bit, not changing up too much other than the fact that y'all might not see me every single Tuesday. It may just be 3 Tuesdays out of a month. But I see Herb getting set up right there. I like that mic too, man. Y'all got to understand, if you've never been to the studio is literally a production studio. Like if you ever walk into Fox News or somewhere, we look the exact same. And I just watched Herb pull up I know that microphone alone cost some bands.
Hilarious.
Cause some bears. But yeah, so I just want to get into, first I want to let y'all know why I was by myself today. Like it's actually a calculated thing. I tried to reach out to some folks, but I actually thought to myself at the end, don't force an interview. What you want to do is always make the stuff organic. That's the thing that made you popular in the first place. That's the thing that people enjoyed, that the show is super organic. And rather than just having people on the show, we just want to make sure that we're having a calculated view of a calculated move on how we bring people on moving forward. But let's get started, man. First topic I want to tackle today, and this is actually a very local story, local to Atlanta, local to Georgia, and that's Stonecrest voted recently to decriminalize cannabis. So that's big for people who live in DeKalb County. I don't live in DeKalb County. I live in Fulton County. Shout out to Kwanzaa Hall and all them. Y'all did the decriminalization. Matter of fact, if you watch Cash Color Cannabis, you was there the day Kwanzaa came on the show and mentioned that he was going to push that while he was still in city council, decriminalizing in Fulton County. But Stonecrest joined a slew of cities in Georgia now who have decided that it's really not worth it to put people through extreme fines and jail time over a little bit of weed.
That's my cousin Kwanzaa Hall too. We got the same last name. That's my cousin.
Are you serious? No, you ain't serious.
It's my cousin.
You know what's crazy? Like I'll tell y'all a funny Kwanzaa story. When I was doing voter registration for it was a New Georgia project. I was working for somebody else. His house was on the list of people I had to go to. And when I read the name, I was like, ain't no way this is this man's house. No, it was his house. I knocked on the door and everything. What's up, Doc? But Stonecrest has decided to decriminalize, which is a big deal. And shout out to my peoples over at Legalize Georgia for even putting me on to this story. I was watching their live, I believe it was yesterday, when they was actually going through the whole vote. So it's super dope to see this happen. Stonecrest, for those who don't know, is the biggest city in DeKalb County. And this vote is definitely going to go into effect soon. And for anybody who does get caught with an ounce or less after this does go into effect, will just get a fine of $100 and a citation. So the city hopes that overall this will cut down on people serving jail time for cannabis, which is a massive waste of time, as we all know. People walking around here, yeah, for real, it's a massive waste of time at this point, watching people have to get locked up for bud, knowing that we're in a whole country where half this country is now legalized in one way or another, whether it's medical or recreational.
So are they going to be walking around with scales? I don't know what's
Bro, that's a good question because, you know, the thing I thought about when I saw this today was I hope that people in DeKalb County don't move like how it did in Fulton County, because I remember the following day after that got passed, people was walking around like weed was legalized. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was in the way. I remember somebody who even got arrested over that. Like, yeah, but people was walking around like it was absolutely legalized. And what you got to do is wait for it to go into effect first before we do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait for that to actually be a real thing before it happens, because I don't want to see people get caught up in something that that hasn't happened yet, and believing that this law is now passed. So congratulations again to Stonecrest. That should be a good move for the city, and hopefully it's a trickle down for more cities in the state of Georgia, and hopefully that again will make something easier for them to pass. Maybe I keep saying legalization in Georgia is a far, far, far thing down the road. Like, we still in the mix where they still haven't even fully gave y'all, even with the people who won the 6 licenses for medical cannabis, we ain't seen no stores yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we 3 years after that now, I believe, or close to about 3 years of this happening, and we still haven't seen that movement. So hopefully this is a start to something where Georgia, the state itself, starts seeing what people are starting to vote for and people actually want, and hopefully some of our politicians start making a move. So another topic I wanted to bring up, for those who don't know, I've been actually asked to be a juror for the Clio Cannabis Awards. Major deal. I actually was super, I was taken aback when they actually asked me to be a juror. The Clio Awards is major. Like, the Clio Awards itself, as far as for advertising, is a big award. If you ever watch Mad Men, like, the Clio Awards been going back so long that in Mad Men, Don Draper actually wins a Clio Award. Like, yeah, there's an episode where he wins the Clio Award and he actually leaves it in a bar by accident. If you ever watch the show, Don Draper drinks. So Don Draper actually left one. But this year I get a chance to be a judge for the Clio Cannabis Awards. And the categories I'm judging on are film and advocacy. And I've had a chance over the last couple of weeks to watch about 3 hours of commercials. And at this moment, I'd like to also say, all the people I know who have to vote for Grammys, I feel your pain at this point. Like, that's some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you realize how many people have things submitted that are being nominated for other categories. And I've had to watch the same commercial about 4 times, you know what I'm saying? Because it was nominated in multiple categories. And you talk about after a while, it just starts being like a blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything turns white after a while. But I've had a chance to do that, and it's actually been an amazing experience, and it's something that I'm actually learning more about. Like, being a judge in the Clio Awards and being able to watch these commercials, I've had the ability to watch just some amazing creativity in cannabis, some stuff I didn't even know existed when it comes to commercials and when it comes to people being able to advertise their brand. Now, again, we're in Georgia, and even with even in legal states, everything is going to be different as far as how you can advertise and how you can promote. So people have to take different routes. Like, some of these commercials and some of these visuals I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure they're strictly for social media. You know, like, they're not airing this in any place. But there's been some great work. There's been some great work, and I don't know how much I could speak about some of the people who are nominated, so I don't want to go that far. But I've actually seen some really high-produced, high-quality commercials, and I was applauding them. And we've seen some bad ones, but we've seen definitely some really high-quality videos. And it brought me back to this point that I feel like should be made. There's an absolute lane. If you are a creative, if you're a black creative and you work well with cameras, you work well with bringing concepts to life, there is literally a lane in cannabis for you to start working with some of these brands to bring some of their visions to life. That happens. We're past the point where people are saying we don't got the money. These brands got money. Herb, you've seen, I gave you a chance to see some of this stuff. Some of these brands got money. And I feel like the resources that we're seeing being spent out, I would love to see some of those resources get diverted to some black creatives, you know what I'm saying, so they could really start taking advantage of what's actually happening in front of them and start using some of this money to start building up your career. I think that's definitely a lane that we need to start paying more attention to. But also very well aware of what some of the stuff that actually hinders black creatives from making this move. We're often not in the rooms when these decisions are being made at all. You know what I mean? Like, we're not there when they're having budget meetings or they're having creative meetings. We're not in those spaces where people even probably will bring your name up unless you was just there from the absolute beginning. So that's already one stumbling block. And the second stumbling block is, thanks to TikTok and thanks to Instagram, like over COVID time, well, past COVID time, when people were having a whole uproar about pay black creatives, there's been a lot of times when we were gifted product rather than gifted money. And you watch people take product and, use their own coins to turn like almost nothing campaigns into stuff that became viral. And at this point, I'm sure that we need to start commanding that check. And I know that right now, those two things are probably the biggest hindrance from us really taking advantage of what I feel like is in front of our face. That you're watching a space where there's going to be the need for creatives to come in and really help out with what's going on. So we just really got to start figuring out a way to put ourselves in these type of rooms. And probably putting yourself in those type of rooms is attending these conferences and making sure that you're keeping your face out there, from the MJ Business of the world to the Black Canacons, and what's another one, MJ Unpacked. Make sure that you start making sure you show your face out there and start networking and start really letting people know that you out here and you could do some creative stuff as well. Start getting your check, start building up your resume and start making sure that you get into some of these rooms and that you're now, when we start doing the Clio Awards next year, Clio Cannabis Awards, that I'm starting to see some commercials that are clearly directed, produced, edited, the cinematography, all that has a black face behind it and not necessarily just black faces in front of the camera. So I loved it though, man. I enjoyed the whole process. Like I say, I really walked back saying to myself, I criticized some of my Grammy folks, like this job can't be that hard. But yeah, that job's hard. Like for you to hear the same song over and over again and you have to make a serious decision of why this one is better than this one in this specific category, but it's not better than this one in this other specific category. It's hard. Like it's not a cakewalk in any way, shape, or form. So I apologize if I ever offended y'all. I apologize if I ever said that it can't be that hard. It's definitely hard judging an event. And thank you again, everybody over at Clio, for even nominating me and allowing me to be part of this process. I'll be in Vegas. I think it's the last week of Vegas for the Clio Awards, so I'm gonna be there and be present because I definitely want to see this happen, and I want to see some of the people take home trophies. Plus, I want to be in the room when it happens because I feel like I got creatives around me, from my man Joe to Danny Digital, my boy E1. We really need to be out here letting them know that we could take some of this creativity that we do every Tuesday night and turn into some amazing commercials for some of you folks, man. So look forward to that. And again, thank you again, Clio Cannabis. And the last topic I want to touch on is actually the future of Cash Color Cannabis. I don't want to get too personal, but some folks probably know my personal life. And around the first week of July, my life changed dramatically when my nephew passed away. And that actually took me off air for about 2 weeks. That was probably the longest I've ever been off air in the 6 years I've been doing this. But it just took me a little second to get back in the motion of wanting to even be around people, even wanting to speak to people. If you ever lose somebody who's very close to you and they were very young, you probably understand what I'm saying. Like it was just, you had a moment where you just didn't want to be around folks. So during that time, though, I really thought a lot about where I want to see Cash Color Cannabis go. And I wanted to make sure that I was following my heart and following my mind where I saw the brand going. And when I started up this year, as a matter of fact, on January 1st, I wrote down a list of things I wanted to see from Cash Color Cannabis and I wanted to see from myself. And a lot of those things are coming true. Like one of the things I actually wrote on the list was I wanted to be involved in more events and in more cannabis-related events like the Clio Cannabis Awards, and that happened. I did manifest that. But one of the things I have put on the list that I haven't fully brought to life was I wanted to change the overall quality of the guests that we have. And that don't mean overall in the show, because as you know, I could do Zoom interviews all week, and I do over the phone interviews. So it's fairly easy for me to get somebody on the phone or on a Zoom who's not in Atlanta. But to have somebody come to the studio in Atlanta, it can be challenging, especially if you're not down here. We've been blessed to have people who've actually flown in to come do the show, and I think that's amazing. Even shout out to my boy Antoine Mordecan. Antoine drove up from Alabama for a Tuesday night to do Cash Color Cannabis. I thought that was boss as shit. Appreciate my boy for doing that. But as we move forward, my focus is going to be more on bringing some of those people who would normally be on my Zoom to Atlanta for Cash Color Cannabis. So that's going to take some time and it's going to take some work. And I've already been on the logistics side working with some people to help plan out how we want to do some of these interviews. I was just speaking to my man Joe about our Cash Color Cannabis event that we do every year. Our Cash Color Christmas event that we do every year, that I'm looking forward to. There's about 2 names I have on my list, and I'm pretty sure one of them is going to be here. And that's an absolute fact. There's 2 people on my list. One of them is going to be here, sitting here in Atlanta for our Cash Color Christmas end of the year special, and that's going to be dope. But I want to keep that vibe going. So it's going to be a lot more of me planning out these shows based on what honestly fits the growth of the brand versus making sure we have an episode every Tuesday. And it's a big difference. Like I've always put quality over quantity. I know our first season we would do things like almost have 3 people a show, you know what I'm saying? And we cut down on that the second season. Like we was over that the second season. I only need one of y'all to be here. But as we move forward, I feel like 4 weeks every single Tuesday may not be a thing that we necessarily need to do, as long as I'm keeping as long as we keeping the content as quality number one. I mean, quality is number one in what we bring out. So I'm making sure that that's a preference moving forward. So you're going to see some changes, especially starting in September. You're going to see some changes as how we produce the show, some of the guests that'll be on the show, some of the things we even do surrounding the show. Like some of the brands that we will partner with is going to be less about pop-ups and more about the content we create for you. You know, we really want to start helping brands elevate in that level versus just giving you a space to sell. You know what I mean? I think that's always dope as well. Like I'm also, as you know, I be out here selling as well at pop-ups. Cannabis clothing will be at a pop-up. But I also feel like one thing that we do need is people creating these quality visuals and quality still shots for people so they can actually take this and create something on social media for themselves and start creating a better brand awareness for themselves. So watch out for things like that. We're going to start moving in that lane as we move forward, starting in September. So don't be shocked if you don't see me on a random Tuesday on Live Hip Hop Daily. Like, trust me, we got over 300 episodes. We could run back another one. But when y'all see us in studio, it's going to be a movie every single time. Like, so we going back to that level with Cash Color Cannabis. We also going back to working on the third season of our web series, Cash Color Cannabis Presents. It's something that I actually put on the back burner for the last couple of months. Prior to July and me losing my nephew, I was already in a place where we did great work. And again, for those who don't know, Cash Color Cannabis Presents is a web series that we do in partnership with Unscripted TV. So Unscripted TV is a black-owned streaming platform based out of DC. And our first 2 seasons are on Unscripted TV. So I was set to drop the third season a little while ago, but I put the brakes on that because it comes back to the quality over quantity thing. And we had great quality as far as interview-wise. But I felt like, you know, when I watch some of the things that I feel like are comparable to what we do, like when I watch Vice, when I watch, channels like that and some of the shows they put out, I felt to myself that we were shortchanging ourselves when it comes to quality and post-production. And that I was more focused on making sure that we rolled out interviews versus making sure that this is award-winning, like, next-level shit, which is always wanted to do. Like, people know me. Like, I've never wanted to just put something out. I wanted to make sure that whatever we put out leaves a legacy. So going back to that, Cash Color Campus Presents Season 3 is back in production. We're going to be filming in Las Vegas, and we're going to be filming in New Orleans, both in October and in November. So I got some of the guests picked out right now. It's going to be about 9 episodes. And we're working on that right now as far as just locking in some people. And more importantly, making sure that I'm on the same page with my creative team. You know, that it's not just me planning these interviews, it's us sitting down and having full production meetings about where we're trying to go with the actual finished product. So we're going to do that in October, November. We're going to do some filming during MJ Biz in Las Vegas, and we're also going to do some filming during Black CannaCon in November in New Orleans. But look forward to Cash Color Cannabis Season 3 coming out the top of the year in January. Look forward to be streaming on CashColorCannabis.com. We also still be working with Unscripted TV, but I also want to make a point that we start pointing more of our content back to our website, CashColorCannabis.com. So look forward to seeing some of those our Season 3 of Cash Color Cannabis Presents coming back to the small screen, coming back to YouTube, but primarily coming back to CashColorCannabis.com. You know, the last thing I wanted to speak about, and something I really haven't mentioned except for a really small crew of people, is that I've been working on a book. And I've been working on a book for a little while now. We're 5 chapters in, but it's called Tuesday Night Live, the story of Cash Color Cannabis. And it's me basically taking a look back of our 6 years in production, like from the very first episode when I came in here in December 2016, and it was me, Herb, Chris J, DJ Money Green, a lot of weed in the air, great conversations, real fun time. We go back to all the way when we started to where we are right now, and it's just basically me taking a look at some of the shows I felt like were really impactful in making us to where we are. So some of the topics so far, our episode with Freeway Ricky Ross, if y'all don't know about that episode really showed me the power of Cash Color Cannabis that day. And man, like, we had about 80 people in that room, you know, and I kid you not, like, you really had to be there that night to understand how uncomfortable 80 people in this room is. You know what I'm saying? Especially when most of them are men. Like we had 80 dudes. There was a lot of weed in the air, and everybody was ready to see Freeway Ricky Ross do this interview, and that was amazing. We talk about Freeway's interview. We talk about Kwanzaa Hall's interview, and Kwanzaa coming through here, and how he actually started the trickle down of a bunch of politicians wanting to come to a weed show. You know, after Kwanzaa came, it was Vincent Ford. Shout out to my boy Chris Brown. I really got a chance to know and learn more about Chris even during that time. To a slew of other people, from Tamara Shealy to Ted Metz to even when we recently had Christian Wildsmith, you know, who comes on. He made it, Kwanzaa, I will always say this, made it very more easy for people who are in politics to say, we'll come sit down on this show, just knowing what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing what it is. We're comfortable coming down to this show because the people who come to this show vote. And it was really dope for that to happen. And we also even another person I speak about in the book is our Roscoe Dash episode, and how impactful that Roscoe Dash episode was, in all honesty. And if y'all don't know about that, you can definitely stream that on Spotify, Pandora, wherever you listen to podcasts. But you can also go watch it on livehiphopdaily.tv's YouTube page. That Roscoe Dash interview was something special. And the special thing that was, I mean, past the fact that my man was super open about everything in his career, some of the highs, some of the lows, it was the fact that it went viral almost a year after it went out, because somebody mentioned Wale's name. And it was a moment I realized that rappers will literally search their name sometimes on Twitter. But buddy, when Wale realized he mentioned him, not only did he repost the story, he reposted the interview, but he posted the interview with his side of this story. And it wasn't like he was contradicting Dash in any way. He was supporting Dash's statement that BET Awards was not trying to let him perform, what was the song they had together? Was it No Hands? Yeah, it was No Hands. They wasn't trying to let Wale perform No Hands because Wale was assigned to a label at the time. And Roscoe and Waka really went all the way out to make sure that he was part of part of the actual performance, because BET was saying no. Yeah, Wale co-signed that. And when I say I woke up one day and I told Herb, I said, bro, my mentions are going crazy right now. Because some dude reposted, and he actually apologized later. It wasn't a big deal. But he reposted a blog that's like pro-Wale, reposted this interview. And it just went crazy. I remember him DMing me saying, oh, my bad, I forgot to tag y'all in it. But I was like, it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Because really, bro, people realized what it was. And when I say my mentions went crazy with these pro-Wale supporters over this one interview and this one statement, it was just such a dope moment, man. And it just realizes that we have so many dope moments and so many amazing moments that's happened in this studio that I had to put pen to paper. So right now we five chapters in. And my goal is to have this actually finished by October, so I can have it ready for purchase in December. Like, I definitely want to be able to have physical copies when we do Cash Color Christmas, so y'all could actually come up here and get them. I could do a book signing, kind of like a Yana Presley. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Yana and shout out to Freeway. They came up here and did book signings and stuff. I want to do a book signing of my own thing. So hopefully y'all can get that at the end of December, but it'll be called Tuesday Night Live, the story behind Cash Color Cannabis. It'll be me highlighting. Matter of fact, it'll be me highlighting my relationship even with my boy Herb right here. Y'all do not understand the arguments we had the first season, because I was not understanding my man's idea of where we should be doing it. But I fully get it now. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things where you're kind of hard-headed at first, because you're so, especially if you're a creative, you're so focused on what you want to do that you don't let other people sometimes give you solid criticism and solid advice about where you should be bringing this. And I swear, man, our first season, we used to butt heads a lot about like small shit. But at this point, we really centered and we locked in, because Herb definitely, for somebody who's been in the industry as long as he has, I actually have the honor of being able to pull from his knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and be able to pull from his experience of what he's been through to be able to make this a better show and be able to make this a better experience. So look out for that, man. It's going to be a dope book. Like, this is my first time.
Can't wait.
Yeah, man, Tuesday Night Live, man, Tuesday Night Live. And also remind people that we made Tuesday night a thing. Nobody was doing nothing on Tuesdays. Facts is a fact. Like, I'm going to actually put it in book form. Like, if y'all haven't seen the episodes, y'all never been to a pop-up, y'all never been to anything we've done here, you know anybody was doing nothing on Tuesday night.
I think this inspired, what's dude, McConaughey's song?
Oh, going up on a Tuesday?
We inspired that.
Because we all going up on a Tuesday. Nobody was going up on a Tuesday outside of even clubs, really, but outside of a couple clubs. Everybody was going up on no Tuesday. But Tuesday night became a whole vibe starting December in 2016, and we still keeping it that vibe. So I just want to keep y'all informed of what's going on. Next week, we are going to be having an episode. We're actually going to be having a pop-up, and I'm going to give y'all more details about that as well. But just keep rocking with us. I really appreciate everybody for growing with us, and I can't wait to share with y'all some of the growth that's actually happening in my career right now. So everybody keep me in your minds, because next week I should be able to give y'all some amazing news as to why some of this stuff is even happening right now, and how I have to as my man Roger Petty would say, I have to rejudge some of my life around to make it all make sense, so I don't burn myself out. But yeah, just definitely thankful for some of these opportunities, man. Matter of fact, even before I even leave out of here, when I speak about thankful for some of the opportunities, thank you, Jamie Lubin. Thank you for Ronit over at Honeysuckle. Y'all gave me the opportunity to have I literally had 2 cover stories this year. You know what I'm saying? It was Lil Wayne's cover story for Honeysuckle, and I had the chance to even contribute questions for the Wiz Khalifa cover. I don't ever like taking credit for that, because my boy Taheed did that whole story. And I know my contribution. It was literally Taheed asking me, hey, bro, would you think I should ask Wiz? And I was like, these couple of questions probably work. That was my biggest contribution to that story. But yeah, I was blessed to be part of that as well. And, and shout out to my boy Calvin, East Coast editor over at Leafly. Shout out to Leafly for allowing me to just really rock out this whole entire year. I got a couple of stories coming out with them even soon. So, like I say, I'll be able to tell y'all a little bit more next week. But right now, Cash Color Cannabis is just transforming into something we really should have been in, and we really can still be, which is a full-fledged channel, and really start churning out some absolute quality content, bringing on some different hosts, bringing on some different energy, and just really showing y'all what the power of the black voice and the black creative can be when we actually put all our minds together and our resources together and say, look, this is the focus. Let's go. So I thank y'all again. We're gonna go back and kick back for a second. You know how we do. We're gonna put one in the air, and I'm gonna talk to them a little bit more about the stuff I can't tell y'all on air. But we here. Just know we're gonna be popping up on y'all next week. But going into September, when y'all see Cash Color Cannabis, and if you hear that I'm doing an episode, get a ticket. Get a ticket, because it's gonna be a movie, man. And that's Cash Color Cannabis. It's a high level of conversation on live hiphopdaily.tv, live hip hop daily for life. Cash Color Cannabis. That's what it is. I did that. What up, man?